This is a PSA to people. If you're experiencing a full moon and it isn't a sign that you have in your chart, in your personal planets, especially a whole ass stellium, keep your shit quiet. Stay home. Don't talk to nobody.
Cancel everything.
Like, seriously, you should not be having any sort of platform to express yourself. Because chances are it's not going to go well for you. What's poppin'? Hey, y'all.
Hey.
How's everybody doing on this Friday?
This
All right,
Friday.
with the moon in Aquarius. I hope everyone's feeling friendly, social, or even if you're not, you're kind of in your own little world.
Yes.
I'm okay with that too.
Yes.
But now you have come to our world, and I hope you have a good time.
Yes. I hope the energy allows you to conquer the day. I feel like Aries and Aquarius together is it's like a force to be reckoned with, you know?
It is.
Like, it can be some very powerful energy.
It's a little chaotic. In the best way.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yes.
But I figured we should talk about the Libra full moon that we just experienced. Because it was a week.
It was.
And was anybody else fucking exhausted all week? All week.
Me. So
My
tired.
body felt like it took a beating.
It took all of my
And I worked out my regular amount.
Yeah, it took all of my strength to not be, like, falling asleep, like, at work.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Like, I was, like, trying all of my strength.
Yeah, and
to stay
everyone
awake.
at my job, even people who don't know anything about astrology, the energy was like, I'm just so tired. Like, I don't know what's going on. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there like, I know. Yeah, it was honestly a lot, but we made it through. And I just have to give this little tidbit. So if you guys are in the know about the Vanderpump Rules stuff, so basically one of the people that was involved in this Vanderpump Rules scandal reality TV drama his name is Tom Schwartz. And this is the best friend of the guy that did the cheating, is potentially a narcissist, all that shit.
Yeah.
And we don't really fuck with the best friend either, because they're like two peas in a pod. He's cheated on his girl before, except the worst part is when it comes to this dude, Tom Schwartz, he acts like he's innocent. He's like that nice guy, that friendly party guy that's nice to everyone, but his actual girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the guy that's loyal to everybody, but really you mean he's loyal to nobody.
Exactly.
And his story just got all fucked up because he said that he didn't know anything about, the cheating and all that. He wasn't involved. And then slowly it came out that he did know.
Yeah.
First he said, I just learned about it in January. And then it came out that he knew about it when they first hooked up, which was in like September. So basically his lies are just like spiraling.
Right.
And the other week, during the Libra full moon, this man decided it was a good idea to go on live television. And mind you, he is a whole ass Libra stellium, which makes it even funnier because, of course, he's so passive and puts on this front that he's the nice guy that gets along with everybody. Meanwhile, he's doing all this like slimy shit on the low.
Yeah.
So he went on live TV during the Libra full moon and literally made the situation worse for himself and everybody involved. Literally. To the point where Andy Cohen, the late night talk show host, said, let me give you some tips on media training after this.
Yeah, oh my God.
It was amazing to watch as a viewer.
Oh, yeah.
Because he just dug his own
Yeah,
grave.
100%.
But this is a PSA to people. If you're experiencing a full moon and it isn't a sign that you have in your chart, in your personal planets, especially a whole ass stellium, keep your shit quiet. Stay home. Don't talk to nobody.
Cancel everything.
Like, seriously, you should not be having any sort of platform to express yourself. Because chances are it's not going to go well for you.
No, 100%. And it just makes me so angry because, full moons to me, like, they can be times of, like, reflections and, like, releasing. And, like, he did not reflect at all. He did not release anything at all except the fact that he has been lying.
Literally.
And
it's part of the problem.
Helping his friend.
And he tried to end it with, if you see him on the street the other time, give him a hug. Everyone looked at him like, dude, read the fucking room. Nobody wants to give him a hug.
No.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like, I hope at this point they end up together. Because I don't think anyone's going to be as loyal to them as they are to each other.
They suck each other's dicks.
Like, please suck each other's dicks a little more.
Yeah.
Because truly it's disgusting to watch. And usually, I'm a big believer in loyalty and friendships.
Yeah.
And like people who ride for each other. But I'm talking, I've watched these people since the first season. These are some of the slimiest people, these two Toms. Because they're the ones that are always trying to stay out the drama.
Yeah.
And call other people out. Meanwhile, you've finally been exposed for being the most messy.
Right.
And being literally the worst people on this whole entire cast.
Right. You are the drama.
Yeah.
You're over here whispering and saying stuff, starting it all. And I'm like, oh my God.
Be real. They're the oldest people there right now. They're 40. Both of these men are 40 years old. These aren't boys in their 20s figuring out life, cheating, being fuckboys.
No.
These are grown men.
Yeah.
It's gross.
It is. Like, you have no values or morals by this age still. Like,
Yeah.
get your shit together.
You're still trying to be the fun guy? Like, dude, you're pushing 40.
You don't have nothing else going for you but fun?
That's my thing is, listen,
Ooh.
I'm not one to like sit here and like prey on people's downfalls, but I will be honest enough to say that when I see bad people, whether it's in real life or reality TV, even a movie, when I see someone being a horrible person, nothing feels better than finally they're exposed for their true self. And it feels good that the world is finally seeing these scumbags for like who they are.
Yeah.
You know, because you know how the world is. They always villainize women. Well, what did she do to deserve it?
Yeah.
Well, she's such a bitch to him. He's never been loyal to her. He picks everyone but his girl.
Right.
Like, at some point, the person that you are treating that way will become angry.
Of course.
No person in a relationship that is being treated with respect and love and adoration will act out in an angry way.
Right.
And that is the thing. All of their exes have been villainized. The women that have been with them have been villainized for being crazy.
Right.
But really, they and their shitty behavior has made them act that way.
100%.
Because all the girls right now are happy. Every girl that has been with these shitty men from this show, and I'm sure everywhere in the world, they're thriving.
Right.
Because they got out of a toxic relationship in which they were pushed to the edge of insanity.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. And it's like, excuse us, as I say in quotations for the people who are listening, if you couldn't tell the sarcasm in my voice. For, you know, harping on, these men being terrible in this moment. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to keep talking about how shitty they are.
Yeah.
Because they deserve it and they need to be highlighted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm sorry, they are going to be the poster child for all the men, all the other shitty men right now who can't be exposed.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll be scared now because of how hard everyone has been going. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, for someone who's like, oh, are you guys still talking about that? Like, yes, I'm not going to shut up about it, actually.
I mean, again,
I don't think anyone is.
To
but
our show.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
We will continue to talk about what we want to talk about. And I'm pretty sure as a viewer, it's more enjoyable to watch people talk about things that they actually like.
Yeah.
Rather than doing things they're forced to do. And that's never going to be our platform. We're always going to talk about things that bring us joy and that we feel passionate about.
Yeah.
And currently, yes, we are still passionate about this subject.
Yes. And always going to be passionate about talking about shitty men and putting them in their place.
And shitty humans. Seriously.
Yes,
but emphasis
doesn't
on the
always
men,
mean.
because I'm sorry, you guys, there is a lot of you out there.
It's true. Oh gosh, yes. Of course there are toxic women too. If you're watching the newest season of Love is Blind.
Oh my God. Yeah, we are all caught up. We need to talk.
Right.
I'm sorry. Kwame. I hate that man. He is such an
faker.
actor. He's such an actor. My mom. I don't know if you guys saw, but I just love TikTok because everyone finds everything. Apparently, I saw it. Well, not apparently. I saw the video. This dude, Kwame, was at the season 10 casting of that show you love to watch.
Yes, Married at First Sight.
So this dude's just been trying to get famous, which I'm not surprised about.
Oh my God.
And I don't get it. Why do people come on these shows? I mean, I keep asking why, but I know why. A lot of these people on reality shows, they want to come on TV, they want to get followers, and they want to get brand deals. Like, it's so obvious they're there to make a name for themselves, and it's probably the easiest way to get famous in this day and age.
Totally.
You don't have to become an actor.
Yeah.
You definitely don't have to become a musician. Just audition for reality TV and even if you're loved or hated, you will get people to follow you.
100%.
And it's so gross.
It is so gross. And can I say it's especially gross in the Kwame situation? Because he could have used the same narrative that he's using in Love is Blind in Married at First Sight.
Yeah, my mom doesn't want to meet you.
Exactly. And that should just, it just adds to the idea that I think he's such a faker. He's such an actor. It's everything he does is so performative. Him liking Chelsea completely rests on the fact that how hard she rides for him.
No, truly.
And don't even get me started on her.
I mean, I'm just going to say it. To me, it gives me the energy of, like, she's fetishizing him.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it. This man has literally shown zero interest in you. He literally is always also fake laughing. Like, when he's uncomfortable, he's like, well, we don't agree, honey.
It makes my skin crawl. It's scary.
It is.
I feel
very
like
scary.
He could turn, like, aggressive. Like, I don't know this about him. I don't know this man personally. But, like, that laugh and, like
what's so
how
funny?
he's just so, like, oh, no. Like, you just lie about so much stuff. You push so much stuff under the rug. You're bound to burst.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
There's one thing about people. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No, it's true. They're not going to make it.
Right. No.
Let's talk about Megan Fox. Why did that man... He's not okay.
No, he is not.
First of all, he's not okay. Because... Megan Fox, I'm so sorry, honey. I'm so sorry that this raggedy ass bitch...
This mean girl.
No, she's
such a mean girl.
How can you... She reminds me of, like, a high school bully, like, legit. And, like, I mean, she's young, but that's not a reason to be such a horrible fucking person.
No.
When she saw, what's his name, she's like, can you blink more? It's kind of creepy. I mean, I'm not saying he's the most socially, like, aware.
Right.
He's a little awkward. Mm-hmm. But, like, the way she was treating him was so foul.
I know. It was mean. It was inconsiderate. And, you know, just like sometimes I kind of feel like her partner, Zach, can't always, like, he's actually very intelligent, but sometimes he can't always, like, read the room. I feel like she can't always read the room, like, either, you know? So it's like a bad mix.
It is a bad mix. Because, like, I just don't understand why he picked her. It was so weird to me. Yeah. It was so weird to me.
Just truly a misjudge of character. Like, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Truly. It's wild.
It is wild. Such a good show.
It's so good. Check it out, y'all. Check it out.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait for the reunion. I don't know if this is true, but I feel like I read that it's supposed to be live.
And I feel like that, when she told me that, I was so shocked. I'm like, live?
Right, like, so what
that
you
sounds
mean?
real
On
messy
Netflix?
and amazing. Like, I see you, Netflix, you working overtime.
Right.
They better be. They're charging us extra.
Right. They're trying to get into that live game.
All right, they better not make everything with commercials, because then, like, what is the whole point of fucking Netflix and streaming sites if you're going to have commercials?
Oh, I didn't even think about commercials. That's terrible. I also don't want commercials in the sense of you promoting your other shows. Yeah. Like, you could do that in the beginning and at the end.
You already do that.
Exactly. I don't want any more of
it. Oh, my God. You guys. Maya knows. Today I found in the archives pictures of me as a fucking teenager, and it was truly beautiful.
It was wonderful.
I was literally screaming. I was like, oh my God. Was that not my teenage dirtbag face?
Oh, yes. Honestly.
It was giving scene kid. Yeah. Tumblr era.
Yes, totally. I'm like, weren't those photos on your Tumblr? I didn't have her Tumblr, but I would imagine that they would be because they gave that energy.
Yeah.
And as a best friend who didn't actually know you in your teenage years, I feel I can die happily now because I saw those photos.
The bangs.
It was great. Yeah, the bangs were banging.
They were banging.
Tonight will be the night.
We'll fall for you. I might post one here just to make you guys happy.
You have to.
I will. Oh my God. I'm just like crying because I thought I was so cool. And granted, I probably was.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just, I had to get on my, like, old email, my Hotmail, to be exact.
Hotmail?
Yeah, Hotmail. Because it's linked to my fucking CVS account. And I'm just like, when did I make my CVS account? And why is it my Hotmail? So I had to like recover my password.
Uh-huh.
And thank God I knew the password for my Hotmail.
Yeah.
I logged in there. I was like, what's going on here? I haven't checked this inbox in like fucking a decade.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? The best way to see what was popping is to go to the sent. So I see all these attachments that I was like sending to my like phone. I'm just like, why was I sending these to my phone?
Huh.
And where was I taking these pictures?
Yeah.
I was very confused about that. Something to uncover here.
Right.
But anyway, I'm glad I did because I have them. And as they were loading, I was just screaming. I was like, wow. Wow.
That is so good. Maybe there were your favorite photos and like you were getting your new phone. You're like, I have to save these.
You're so right. I think that's exactly what it was. Because there wasn't like phone recovery at that time.
Exactly. No, there wasn't.
You're
there was
so
no
right.
cloud.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But also super cute. I didn't tell you this. I had a really, really cute letter that I wrote to my mom.
Aww.
Like, that I didn't really share with her.
Mm-hmm.
But that I just, like, wrote to her.
Uh-huh.
And it was, like, about me, like, going off to college. Like, it was, because it was, like, you know, like, 5 months before going off to college. And I just wrote this, like, love letter to her.
Aww.
And, like, just telling the universe how much I appreciate her. And how it wasn't always easy to have me be a teenager in her household.
Uh-huh.
But just how much of a amazing woman she is, and how I wish to become half the woman she is and have half the patience she has, and like just like all this shit. I was like, oh my God.
So sweet.
So sweet. So yeah, it was a very emotional day.
Yes, it was a beautiful day. Sarah and I went on, well, you're watching this on Friday, but on the day that we filmed this, we went on a walk and got some coffee and some delicious pastries.
Yeah, it was so
It
good.
was such a good day. I feel like our last podcast, we were talking about how it was so sad and rainy and like the seasonal depression was like real.
Yeah.
But it's been a sunny week.
Yeah, it's been so sunny and it feels so good.
It feels really good.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how much the sun makes a difference in my mood.
Literally. Everyone's mood.
Yeah.
You know?
You need vitamin D, people.
Literally. So many of us are deprived of that vitamin D.
It's so true. Like, I'll never forget when I went to the doctor, like, 6-7 years ago, and my mom was, like, being crazy. She's like, you need to take a blood test. You need to figure out if there's anything wrong with you. Make sure you're healthy. You have to take a full blood panel test. I was like, oh, my God. Like, she gets on these kicks.
Yeah.
It's her Virgo.
Uh-huh.
Her Virgo moon. She's like, your health.
Yeah.
So she made me do that. And the doctor said everything was good except my vitamin D. And she said I need to take vitamin D supplements. And she said anyone who lives in San Francisco should be taking vitamin D supplements because we don't get enough sun here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
from then on, I was like, all right, doctor. You got it.
Good, Doc. I should probably get on that.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
So if you guys are listening and you live somewhere where you don't get a lot of sunlight, look into taking vitamin D, and then also alongside that, magnesium, because you need magnesium in order to break down the vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a doctor, so do your own research. Talk to your doctor before you follow my advice.
Yes.
Because I'm not liable for nothing.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, actually, the other day, I was like looking, someone said something about a vitamin. And I was like, oh, like, you know, that I trust this person. Like, I'm going to just maybe take this vitamin. But then I looked it up and I was like,
about ashwagandha?
no, I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was called. I feel like it was like maybe, no, actually, I really don't remember at all.
Because everyone's on the ashwagandha hype.
Yeah. And I was like, I looked it up and I was like, I should not take that. Like, so always do your research.
Yeah, always do your research. And, you know, people be saying everything on the internet. And there's nothing wrong with, like, reading something and thinking, hey, that might work for me too.
Right.
But discuss it with the doctor.
Yeah.
Just to be on your P's and Q's and to
Mm-hmm.
be on top of it. You don't want to, like, give yourself a fucking heart attack or, like, become really depressed or, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Or just,
shit can be scary.
Yeah, or just thinking that, you know, taking a bunch of vitamins or doing these things are naturally going to, like, make you healthy. Like, you need to kind of know where your base is because taking some things could actually make you more sick, potentially.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
It's true. And there's, like, different doses for everything.
Exactly.
Like, for example, my iron was low and I started taking iron pills. It gave me vertigo. And it was the worst experience of my fucking life. And then I realized I can take these, like, natural supplements called Blood Builder that has, like, beets in it and, like, all these other great things that's been helping me manage my iron levels.
Nice. Yeah. Iron can do some weird stuff. It can make you really constipated. Like, it can just do weird things. Mm-hmm. And so can other vitamins. Yeah. So do your research, know your body, talk to your doctor.
Exactly.
Because we ain't doctors.
No. I'm a love and spirituality doctor.
Even though I like to act like I'm a doctor.
Doctor.
Giving all the advice, saying my 2 cents. I saw something kind of crazy that is like this social love experiment that's going on right now. It's called the pear ring. Have you heard about this?
The pear ring?
Yeah.
Didn't this come out like during the pandemic?
It might have, but I don't know. I was reading this article recently.
Where you have this one person that's for you?
No. So this is like literally people are wearing like this light green ring to signify that they are open and available to dating. It's supposed to be like anti-dating apps. So like whenever you're like out in public and you see somebody with this ring, you're supposed to feel more comfortable to be
approach
able
them.
Yeah, to approach them and talk to them.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because so many people are over the apps from what I hear. And they just don't know people's like intentions. And also it's scary for people to approach each other in real life, A, because people have horrible social skills nowadays.
Yeah.
And B, they just don't know if someone's taken or not. So they kind of feel like they'll embarrass themselves if they were to approach them in the wild.
Right.
Even though that's how a lot of people want their love story to start. Just to happen naturally in person.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great way for that to happen more.
Yeah. And I mean, dating apps obviously have so many negative side effects on like your mental health, like your visions of like your own body and like self-worth for a lot of people, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think this is like a pretty cool idea. I think maybe there could be some like naughty things that could happen with it too, but hopefully it stays just perfectly like under the radar, but enough for people to like kind of know that like it's a cool thing, but people don't take advantage of it. You know what I mean? Because some people could be like, oh, let me go like hit on this woman all the time, even though I'm taken, or I don't know, just shady things could happen.
I mean, I agree
in general.
I feel like that's not going to be a big deal because it's just like nowadays. A lot of people can take their marriage ring off and go around acting single. So it's the same thing. Like you have to obviously when you meet people, if shit feels weird and they're hiding you, try and figure out if shit's weird and they're hiding you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, all you can do, is trust people.
Yeah.
You're not really going to know the truth unless you put them in a lie detector test as soon as you meet them.
Yeah.
So I personally think it's great.
Yeah.
And I hope it becomes popular enough where it'll weed out the dating apps.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the dating apps can be dangerous.
Yes, can be equally as, dangerous. I mean, honestly, everything in this world has its consequences and, like, dangers. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like this can be such a fun, unique way for people to be connecting in that organic way that we, like, all really desire.
Yeah.
Actually.
I mean, it gives you the confidence to, put yourself out there. And I feel like that initial confidence is so necessary in a relationship because you approaching them makes you look confident and them being interested in you, I feel like it shows that this relationship may have a future.
Yeah.
Whereas dating apps, I feel like it can be somewhat passive. And if it doesn't feel fiery from the jump, people all of a sudden pull away.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's already starting off the relationship with a lot of power trips of like, well, he didn't text back fast enough. Or he didn't seem like he was interested with the conversation. You know what I mean? So I feel like they're kind of doomed from the jump. A lot of dating app relationships.
Totally.
Because people can kind of hide behind the phone.
Yeah. It can be such a barrier. And it's just an extra step to be like, okay, well now we've made this connection, but we actually haven't made the connection. We still have to meet up in person, and just being able to remove that initial, like, through the phone, like we're already here in person, we can just talk.
Right. Well, like you said, you were, and I like it too, because people are saying, yes, I'm available. And I feel like it gives people, or it forces people to speak on why they're not interested. Because clearly you're interested to be with somebody, just not me.
Yeah.
So tell me why you're not interested in me and let's end it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will lie and be like, well, I'm not ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
A lot of men, I wasn't really looking. Like, I'm just not in a place right now in my life. It's a cop-out they use often.
Yeah, totally.
To not get serious.
Yeah.
But if you're wearing that ring and someone comes up to you, you can't really use that cop-out.
Facts.
You kind of got to say, hey, I'm not sexually attracted to you. Hey, I'm already talking to someone. You know what I mean? You have to be more honest. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that'll be a good aspect of it too.
Yes. Just more real conversations.
Yeah.
I feel can be had from the pairing.
More courage.
Yeah. I like it.
Courage is sexy.
Mm-hmm. Well, you want someone who's going to verbalize that they want you. Yeah. At the end of the day.
It's true.
You know, that's like the biggest thing to like safety, I feel like, in a relationship. So yeah, the first step is being a little bold and being like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. Like, I want you. Do you want me?
Yeah.
And if
I'm into it.
Relationship ends for any other reason, it ends, but at least you guys know, initially we didn't want each other.
Right. And, I mean, if you're putting on a ring, I feel like they made it a ring on purpose. Like, it's like, intended, like, I want to commit. I want some type of commitment, right? So I feel like that's already another barrier too, kind of like they try to do with Love is Blind. Like, we put all these people together who want to be in relationships, right? Then successful relationships should happen. Now, that doesn't always happen. But it gives it a higher probability.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yes.
And again, the Love is Blind instance isn't really a good comparative because they're in the public view, and this is on normal people level.
It's the public view, and I hate to say it, love is not blind. I don't know what to tell you. Great show, great concept. We know love is not blind.
No.
We know it's not. You have to be somewhat attracted to the person.
You do.
You can be totally feeling the vibes over the phone, whatever. If you meet in person and you looking at them doesn't do a little something for you, it's not gonna be good.
Yeah, no.
But it's a great concept. Mm-hmm. But I will say all the people that have stayed together, they have been attracted to each other.
Yeah.
There's no way one of those people was not attracted to the other.
Facts. No, attraction matters.
It does. Physical attraction matters. Yeah, it does.
Remember, at the end of the day, we want to bang.
Exactly. You want to, well, not everyone, but a lot of people want to make babies with the person.
Yeah.
And on some sort of level, I feel like as humans, we can tell if we'll make healthy babies with the other or not.
Exactly. Your body will quite literally be like, no, can't bang you.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
Won't work. All right, y'all. So let's bring it back to one of our lists, which is the questions we have for the signs. And remember, we did not make this list. We are just discussing said list. So picking up where we left off with the question we have for Scorpio is...
No, I didn't like this one.
Scorpio, yeah, she did it.
Because everyone else's was so nice.
It was so much nicer.
We came to that conclusion. Whoever made this list, their ex was a Scorpio.
They don't like Scorpio. So the question for Scorpio is, Scorpio, why are you so infatuated with power?
Because I'm good at it.
Because you give it to me so easily.
No, literally, like, who else is gonna hold this big dick? I'm just kidding. No, BDE, it exists within Scorpios. Mm-hmm. But truly, because I don't trust it with anyone else.
Yeah,
that is why I need the power, because I've seen the way some people act when they get a little bit of it. And I don't like that. And also growing up, I've seen the way people acted when they felt like you were powerless. I was powerless. It makes people just treat you differently.
Yeah.
And it's so sad, but not really, because I don't feel like I know. Everyone holds a special kind of power in this lifetime. And I wholeheartedly want everyone to step into their power. And just because some people can't or they don't, doesn't mean I'm going to lower mine and dim mine to make you feel comfortable. To be honest, I think Scorpios just feel comfortable with power.
Yeah, totally.
And again, it comes back to trust, too.
Yeah.
Like, I want to feel like I can handle it on my own and I don't need anybody.
Yeah. 100%. I feel like the nicer question would be, Scorpio, how do you feel so comfortable standing in that power?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that is a lot of energy. That's a lot of eyes. That's a lot of intensity that, Scorpio doesn't always even want themselves, but they do have the energy and power to control it and harness it. And not everyone does that. Some people will, quiver and fall in the face of it.
Yeah. I feel like it is, obviously there's bad Scorpios out here who be abusing their power.
Oh, yeah.
But speaking on personal experience, I feel like, when you step into your power, you ultimately make other people feel comfortable, because you are able to be your authentic self without anyone else backing you up. And to be a happy, healthy human in this life, you need to learn to do that for yourself. And I feel like that's where that spark of Scorpio comes alive after years of, trauma, is when we step into our power and we're like, oh shit, like it was within me all along. Like I don't need money, fame, status to do that for me. Like that's why Scorpio and Taurus are opposing. Like Taurus is tangible assets. Scorpio is spiritual assets. What it is that makes you feel powerful within.
Yes.
And that's something that no one can take away from you.
Yes.
And that's why I want people to step into their power, is that like all this other shit we worry about on this planet, it can be taken away like that. But your spiritual power, the power that is within you when you are really fucking with yourself and when you really love yourself, no one can touch that.
Yeah.
No one. And people that aren't in their power will envy you or try to take you down. So stay away from those people.
1000%. So that's your answer to your question.
Yeah.
Boom! We made that into a positive.
Yeah, we did. Again, there is negatives.
100%.
Some Scorpios like to abuse people with their power.
Yes.
Take advantage of situations because they feel powerful. And that's toxic.
Especially when they're wanting to like seek revenge or like purposely make people feel small.
Yeah.
With that power, Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next we have Sagittarius. The question we have for Sagittarius is, how do you stay so honest? Are you so honest?
I'm so honest.
Y'all really are. Painfully.
Yes.
And iconically.
Yes.
Both.
Yes. Honestly, I feel like it's because we value knowledge so much, and it's like we want to know like a right or wrong,
Yeah.
And I think it makes things more clear and easier for us to process as well, too. And it's just like, why Sagittarius also wants things quickly. It's like, why beat around the bush with things? Just be honest and straightforward with it.
Yeah, I feel like Sagittarius value authenticity. You know what I mean? And like, they'd rather see the ugly truth than to fake it. And a lot of the times, I feel like Sagittarius get the ick really easily from people because they're lying to themselves, and Sagittarius feel justified to be like, well, let me tell you what you're lying to yourself about. Yeah. Because once I do that, everything will be right in the world again, We can
all move forward.
And it comes back to, what you said, like, you want people to learn about all the facts. And, sometimes people aren't ready for all that, but at the end of the day, Sag feels like they'll make the best educated decision if they know the whole truth.
Exactly.
And while that may be painful, they know that ultimately they will live a richer life. People will live a richer life when they see the ugly truth.
100%. And I feel like sometimes when you're learning that truth, like it's part of the beauty in the journey, So like we find beauty in the honesty as well, because it's like, yeah, that was a hard truth, or like this was harsh, but like how do I grow from that and like be better,
Yeah.
And again, this is being like overly positive, right? But I feel generally like Sag wants to be that way too.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, ultimately, I feel like Sag can't have fun unless the truth has been spoken.
Yeah.
And like y'all are the type to let it eat away at you until everything is exposed for what it is.
Yeah. Well, because
and you guys want to have fun. So it's like, let's go through the motions.
Yeah.
So we can have fun.
Exactly. It's like, let's get everyone on the same page because I'm also not one to like, well, I don't want to hold the secret in. You know, like that's the other thing I feel like about Sag is like honesty. It's like, well, I don't want to hold this secret for you. So like let's just like lay it all out there for everybody to know, and then we can move forward.
Yeah. Fact.
All right, next we got Capricorn. Capricorn, how do you remain so patient?
Capricorn, are you patient?
I feel like they're not really that patient.
I'm like,
I feel like they maybe sometimes can be, but like not really.
I think Capricorn keeps themselves busy.
Yes.
So they're not sitting there like it'll happen when it happens, you know what I mean?
Yes.
They're just like, yeah, it's gonna happen because I'm gonna make
working
it
towards
happen.
it. Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't necessarily call that patient. I will say, like, of course, Saturn energy is very patient.
Yeah.
So I think Capricorn knows with good things comes time.
Yeah, yeah.
So if we're talking about patience in that sense, I feel like they definitely have it.
Yeah.
Because they know that ultimately, if you have that discipline, good things will come.
Totally. But I almost feel like it's like forced upon them. It's not even necessarily like they want
Well,
to
Daddy
be.
Saturn taught them that from a young age.
Exactly. But I feel like they don't necessarily want to be patient. That cardinal energy, like, Cardinal doesn't want to be patient. They want to get it.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's the thing. I feel like because their whole life, things have moved so slowly for them.
Yeah.
That's where that nature comes from.
Totally.
But they're always the type to be hustling and, you know, putting themselves out there to get what they want.
Yeah.
They're not the type to sit back like Taurus, you know what I mean? And just let it happen.
Yeah. No, you're so right. I feel like it just is like a second nature to them because of Daddy Saturn having to teach it to them. And them, yes, always putting in the work too. It's like, well, I know how hard I'm working. I have to know that it's going to come eventually.
Exactly. And like, they just have that like quiet confidence. And I feel like that can also be patience too, is that like, they're not always going to be the loudest person in the room. You kind of can't help but be like, wow, they're so patient. And it's like, no, they're just choosing to believe that it's going to happen because they believe in themselves. That's the thing with Capricorn. They would put money down on themselves any day of the week.
Yeah, totally.
Because they know that nobody else does it like them.
Exactly. And I feel like, too, off of that, it's like they're good teachers. And I feel like because of that patience, you know what I mean? Like, they're good teachers because they're willing to slow down for you. But again, they probably see value and think that you're actually going to use this information. They're not just, like, wasting their time.
No, it's honestly so true. And I feel like they're not reactionary. Yeah. Like, they don't like to react.
No.
And again, when I think of, like, someone who's patient, you can't help but be like, oh, wow, like, they're so calm and they're so patient.
Yeah.
It's like, Saturn is really, really good at, like, controlling. It's emotions, you know? It's constraining your emotions. Like, that's Capricorn energy. Capricorn doesn't really like to put all their cards out on the table.
That's true.
You know, so you can't help but be like, wow, like, they're so patient.
Yeah.
They're not reacting. Like, this person's, like, doing all this, and they're not giving them any sort of reaction. They're so patient. And it's like, that's because they're not going to give you the satisfaction of reacting.
Yeah.
I think of, like, Lori Harvey.
Yeah.
Everyone's constantly talking about her, creating all these narratives. She barely ever says anything about it. Like, wow, she's so patient.
Right.
You know, she's so patient with these people. And it's like, she's not going to give them the satisfaction of even saying anything.
Totally. It's like back burner thoughts for them. You know, there's so many other things that they're worrying about. Yeah. Or thinking about, you know?
Yeah, it's so true.
Their mind's distracted with other things. Bigger and better things.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
Okay, so I saw this thing on TikTok that I had to share with you because I just thought it was freaking crazy and I had to share it with the people as well.
I'm excited.
So, obviously in the States, and I feel like in a lot of the other parts of the world too, we have Uber and Lyft. Yeah. Right? But I found out that in Korea, it's different. So, instead of having Uber drivers, like, you know, where people come and pick you up and they drive in their cars. In Korea, like, let's say after work, because they have a pretty, like, big drinking culture similar to the U.S. So after work, when they drive to work, they will drive to the bar. So they'll drive themselves to the bar, and like the Korean Uber driver will come and drive their own car home for them.
Wow.
With you in the car.
The level of trust.
Right. But, you know, I was like, okay.
America could never.
Right.
People here are reckless as fuck.
I know, and it's so funny because I said this to my boyfriend. He was like, "Oh heck no, I would never allow that."
Yeah.
But I'm like, "But we get in other people's cars, like we allow other people to drive us around. Like,
It's true.
Do we just feel more strongly about it because we're allowing them to drive our own
That's
possession?"
exactly what it is.
Yeah,
They don't trust it.
yeah.
You don't trust anyone to drive your car.
No, I
damn
don't.
near.
I don't. Yeah.
I think it has to be the trust thing.
Yeah. And it's just so crazy because, yeah, it goes to show, like, in their society, there's just
So much trust.
so much more trust.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it reminded me of something else that I saw recently about Japan and how kids take public transportation completely by themselves. And sometimes I think they wear, like, little vests or, like, hats to let
So cool.
people in the community know that, yes, these are young people. Keep an eye out for them. This doesn't put a target on their back to be snatched like it would in America.
Literally.
It's protect these kids.
That would never happen here. You know,
Right.
I was thinking about it, and I need to figure out how I'm going to say this. Because genuinely, I do love that America is a place, especially as an immigrant. I'm so appreciative of the fact that America is this place where people of all different cultural and religious backgrounds get to come to live a free and fulfilling life. Although America's not perfect, as an immigrant who came from, Iran, who was able to have an education here and have a little bit more control over my own life, I'm appreciative of the fact that America provides that. I have to start off by saying that. But sometimes I wonder if that disconnect in our society comes from the fact that we are not all from the same background. Do other countries that, everyone's from there and everyone speaks the same language, like, do they feel, because they're culturally aligned, do they feel more of a sense of safety?
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, do
Unity
they feel like
or
they can
oneness.
protect each
Yeah.
other? And they feel like they can trust each other because of the fact that, yeah, they're all culturally the same. Like, does that disconnect in America? Is that the reason why there is this lack of trust?
Yeah.
And it sucks because in theory, like, I mean, we live in California. Like, I love and respect every culture. And I'm so honored to be able to experience so many different cultures growing up here. It's one of my favorite things about being from California. But I do wonder in America, is that the reason why there's so much animosity and the lack of trust? Is because innately as humans, do we just feel like, well, we're all on our own. There is no connection here.
Yeah.
And I mean, the government feeds into that. Capitalism feeds into that.
Totally.
The fact that we are all surviving feeds into that. You know?
Yeah.
We don't feel the need to protect each other because you're all on your own. You want to make a name for yourself, work hard on your own.
Yeah.
And in other countries, I can't help but feel like, I'm sure, there's still the rich and the poor, but at least they all come from the same culture and background. So maybe they just feel more inclined to take care of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, too, I mean, some people would 100% argue that, that it's easier.
And it
we have
sucks.
more of the same values. Like, it would just be easier, But I think that, to me, like, it ultimately stems more from, like, America having such an individuality type of society rather than, like, community and caring about one another. Because I feel like what you can see in these other cultures is that they value community. They value their religions and their other, like, organizing hubs. You know what I mean? Where people come together. And I feel like those aren't really appreciated and, like, celebrated in American culture.
It's not. And I just feel like there's a lack of wanting to understand other people's story and history. And, like, I feel like when you are living in your home country, it's kind of known. Like, we know the history of our country.
Yeah.
We know what the neighbor across the street went through. Like, we know their family. Like, everyone kind of, again, there's that community, and it's so natural.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we can't have that here. We just definitely have to just work harder, and we have to make that a priority.
Totally.
Whereas it comes so naturally in other countries. Here we have to work at it and try and understand it. And clearly we know from social media and politics that most people don't give a fuck.
Yeah. No, I mean...
And America's not fucking perfect. There's a lot of division here.
Yeah, I mean, because it's harder. You have to extend your hand out further. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's not like we all have the same history that we're pulling from. We all have different histories. So I have to learn about your history. I have to tell you about my history. That's a lot more conversation that's being had.
Yeah.
And there may be disputes about that, you know, because we see that even from different cultures where I would say that they're very unified, but when you put them against each other, they're not, you know what I mean? They'd be like, no, fuck that person.
Yeah.
You know, is mine against yours.
If anything, I feel like it's more beautiful if we were to do that here.
Yeah.
Because again, like you said, we're going the extra mile. We're going out of our way to try and understand each other.
Yeah.
Even though it's not easy and as natural as if I were to meet another Iranian girl.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we already have that connection.
Exactly.
So to connect with someone that comes from a completely different background than you, there is beauty in that. Because you guys are both putting in the work to see things from each other's perspective. And you're building that trust.
Yeah. And I feel like that's why, you know, it goes back to like why, you know, we say California is so beautiful too. It's like we've put in the time to learn about these other cultures and their food and the people, you know what I mean? Like that's why it's so beautiful and like valuable to me, you know, and why I have so much more respect and patience to learn about these people and their, you know, their history and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel it all starts with a little bit of exposure and like kindness, you know, and people willing to like have conversations. And as we discussed in our last like conversation, like people are kind of less willing.
Yeah.
Like people really want that, but it seems that we're doing it less and less.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Exactly. And like, honestly, in order to make people feel more comfortable around you, share your story. And again, share it without any expectation that they'll share theirs. Because you can't go into relationships with expectations of it's going to be equal. You have to be the one that's courageous and put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And hope that it'll make people feel comfortable enough to do that too.
100%.
You know, you have to set the standard of the kind of relationships you want.
Yeah. And also, I'm a firm believer in, like, you know, in relationships, like, yes, ideally it's 50-50, but it's not always going to be 50-50. You know, sometimes you have to be the one to go 60% of the way or 70% of the way, and then they meet you. And then the next time they come further.
Exactly.
You know, it's, like, always a give and take and finding what that balance is. And, again, being courageous enough to say, hey, I care, I want to know more.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Like, truly, just a little tidbit. Like, obviously, I love sharing my culture with other people, but it makes me so happy when people meet me and they find out I'm Iranian. They're like, oh, like, I used to have an Iranian neighbor. I used to have an Iranian friend. And they start telling me things about my culture through what they learned from other people that are also Iranian. Because it makes me think, like, you listen to people. You cared about what they were telling you about their culture. And that's why, you know what I mean, you're able to share these things about my culture to me.
Right, and now you're trying to make a connection with me through my culture, which is something that's so beautiful and special.
It is, and it ultimately makes me feel more comfortable around them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they know a part of me already.
Yes.
You know?
It's intimate.
It is.
You know, like knowing these things about people, their history, things about their family, the foods they eat, what you do in your private time. Like, these are all very intimate facts.
It's true.
That we don't always have access to.
Yeah.
You know? And when you share it with people, it can be very special or it can be scary.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's you.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shame in that. Someone shows you their true colors after you share it. Bye.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't ever have to change who you are to make other people feel comfortable. And that's something I wish I could have told my younger self. And I'm sure a lot of other immigrant kids I know feel the same way. More than anything, we wanted to be white and accepted. We wanted our moms to make us a regular sandwich with chips. You know what I mean? That, like, regular shit. I look back now, I'm like, fuck all y'all. My culture is so dope. I'm so proud of being an Iranian immigrant. But when you're young, you just want to fit in. You know? But, like, I just want everyone to embrace where they came from. Because that's what makes you unique.
Right. And when you do that, you'll start to find that there's similarities and things that we can connect on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like this example of, like, you know, the Korean Uber drivers. It's like different, but there's so many things that we still connect with Koreans on, you know? And like there's some things that we do in our society that I'm sure that they would never do in their society. And that's something that's cool and beautiful and unique. And I just thought that was such a fun fact because like you said and my boyfriend said, that would never happen here in the States because we don't trust each other.
Yeah, we don't. And we'll end it at that. Thank you so much for kicking it with your girls. We hope you enjoyed watching this episode. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're listening on any of the podcast streaming platforms, give us a review.
Yes, please do
We
that.
would absolutely love that. And if you want to see our faces, come and check out the YouTube.
We love you guys so much. We post our podcast every Friday and our other YouTube videos every Monday and Thursday. If something's ever going on, we let you know. So make sure you're following us on our socials that we linked right here.
We love y'all so much. Have a beautiful freaking weekend. Bye.